Harry was furious when he found out why Travalyst kicked him out of the new project. Hello, friends! Welcome to breaking royal news about the notorious hypocritical couple, Harry and Meghan Markle, on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. Without mentioning the royal, Prince Harry's sustainable tourism initiative, Travalyst announced that it has embarked on an extraordinarily exciting new chapter with a new board of directors. The Duke of Sussex and his wife Meghan Markle founded the autonomous non-profit organization with a London headquarters in 2019, while he was still a working royal. Despite the controversy surrounding his use of private aircraft, Harry served for 3 years as the public face of the campaign to persuade the tourist industry to become more sustainable. However, he was not included in a significant statement made by the organization in May regarding its shift from a pilot phase to a new board of 5 individuals with world-class expertise. Travalyst's remark came 8 days after a representative for Harry and Meghan claimed the couple had been involved in a near-catastrophic car chase while being pursued by photographers in New York following the Miss Foundation Women of Vision Awards. After the dramatic story of the pair was given, the NYPD appeared to downplay it by stating that there were no recorded crashes, summonses, injuries, or arrests linked to the event. According to a Newsweek article, Harry, 38, is still in touch with the Travalyst CEO and board on a regular basis and is still devoted to the company. The Duke is still identified as the company's founder and patron on the Travalyst website. Given how extensively he has previously been involved in conferences and marketing, it is noteworthy that he was not utilized as a promotional tool for the overhaul. Sean O'Meara, managing director of the Manchester-based consultancy Essential Content, a PR specialist, suggested that Travalyst's shift in strategy may have been motivated by the marketing challenges posed by Harry's frequent exposure to unfavorable press. He stated to Mail Online today, "As Travalyst transitions into a new growth stage, this decision to lessen Harry's importance appears and feels intentional. It's not a mistake, and it's very possible that it was Harry's or his advisor's suggestion." A common suggestion made in the press earlier this year by many in the PR sector, including myself, about how Harry might improve and renew his media profile was for him to step away from the spotlight and give himself and the organizations he's affiliated with some breathing room. Harry had turned into a bit of a lightning rod for bad press, which was hurting how people saw the causes he was attempting to promote. The disadvantage of a brand ambassador strategy to PR, according to Mr. O'Meara, is that it becomes much more challenging to gain attention and produce the necessary media coverage to raise awareness when the halo effect of endorsement or affiliation with a well-known person wears off. Added him, "This is by far the largest danger confronting companies that work with celebrities to increase brand awareness since their impressions are linked to and function as the celebrity. The organization gains when the celebrity's life is successful. It's simple to attract attention. It has a knock-on impact on the celebrity's partners and affiliates when circumstances go tough and their desire to be in the media wanes." Additionally, Andy Barr, a PR specialist and co-founder of the Gloucester-based company 10 Yetis Digital, told Mail Online, "Given the criticism and public uproar that resulted from his airing his dirty laundry in public, Harry has significantly shied away from the spotlight in recent months. He obviously made the decision to cut down on the number of times his name is mentioned because he won't want the issues that he cares about the most to be caught up in arguments over his own judgment. When his brand begins to strengthen, which it undoubtedly will given the army of image and PR gurus he has access to, you can anticipate seeing his name used much more frequently. But for now, he's keeping a low profile, which will likely annoy some of the passion project firms he's contracted with because they depend on his name to help their tales gain more exposure." When the initiative was registered as a corporation in April 2020, Harry was identified on Companies House as Henry Charles Albert David Duke of Sussex, as an individual person with considerable control. Records showed that the Duke controlled at least 75% of the shares and voting power. James Holt, one of the Duke's most senior staffers, and Heather Wong, who served as Harry's assistant private secretary at Kensington Palace for 3 years until he left the royal family, were both listed as company directors on Companies House at the time. In March 2021, she departed Travalyst. 1 day later, Sally Davy, who is currently Travalyst's chief executive, was named as a director in Companies House. In September 2019, just as he and Meghan were coming under fire for allegedly traveling on 4 private jets in only 11 days, Harry formally launched Travalyst. At the time, the Duke justified himself by asserting that nobody is flawless and that what matters is what we do to counteract any negative impacts. Harry spent 3 years working on the project, which was created with companies including Booking.com, Skyscanner, TripAdvisor, Trip.com, and Visa. Harry traveled to the Netherlands on a commercial flight for the debut ceremony in Amsterdam. Then, in February 2020, he spoke at a Travalyst event in Edinburgh, one of his final engagements as a working royal before quitting and coming to the U.S. with Meghan. He made the memorable request to be presented simply as Harry. About 100 representatives from the tourism and travel sectors were invited to the Working Summit, which Harry and his Travalyst team organized to get feedback from the travel industry on innovative ideas for sustainability. He urged the travel sector to rebound better from the epidemic in his opening remarks at a virtual global conference for Travalyst a few months later, in July of that year. This presentation was significant since it was his first in front of the public following the publication of a number of royal disclosures in Omid Scobie and Carolyn Duran's book, Finding Freedom. He published the preface to a Travalyst report in February of the following year, 2021, and said that COVID-19 gave the travel sector the potential to launch a comprehensive realignment towards a sustainable future. Then, in May 2022, Harry starred in a comedy for a brand new program in New Zealand for Travalyst, in which he ran through a forest before getting charged for dropping a lollipop wrapper when visiting the nation 4 years previously. 4 years for the tape, which he introduced on Maori television's current affairs program Te Awo with Moana, the Duke said many sentences in Te Reo Maori. On May 24th of this year, though, Travalyst said it was entering its next stage of expansion without making any reference to Harry in the press release. The initial coalition, which originally consisted of 5 founding partners, has nearly doubled in size to 9 partners, with a combined market value of close to $2 trillion, according to a statement from Travalyst Chief Executive Officer Miss Davy. Google joined as one of these fresh partners in September 2021. The statement further stated, with the establishment of a new board to oversee and direct us on our future path to provide significant positive and system-changing effects, we formally commemorate the conclusion of Travalyst's pilot period today. The board is made up of professionals with top-tier competence and advocacy, fighting for a just and sustainable society, impact, systems change, and not-for-profit governance. There was an India on the list of new board members. Gary Martin, the founder and CEO of Leadership for Execs, Clea Kaskakuk, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development's Director for Policy, Advocacy, and Member Mobilization, Dr. Sally Urin, the CEO of Forum for the Future, James Whiting, the CEO of Doughty Street Chambers, and Vedder Price attorney Henrietta Worthington round out the group. Additionally, Miss Davy wrote, "As we go forward into our next stage of development and expansion to make sure our work is freely available to everyone, used by everyone, and catalyzes the positive change of the sector, I feel this is an extraordinarily exciting time for Travalyst and the industry as a whole." The press releases section of Harry and Meghan's Archewell website does not include the announcement either. But on May 26th, Miss Gary Martin, the board chair, mentioned Harry in a statement on her personal Instagram, saying, "I'm thrilled to report that I've agreed to serve as Travalyst's board chair. We are conveners and drivers of sustainability in travel and tourism, working with the largest firms in the world to set standards and ensure we aren't taking more out than we put in, particularly in the areas that are most hit. We were founded by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex." 2 further news releases were published on the Travalyst website in 2023, and in each of them, it is stated at the bottom of the About Travalyst section that the initiative was started in 2019 by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Before the five-person board was announced in May 2023, Mr. Holt and Miss Davy were the two directors of Travalyst, according to company's house records. Harry is lazy and used to people serving him, not him working and serving others. Harry is nothing without the royal family and will always be talentless, and even the Invictus Games are all managed and planned by others, as he couldn't even plan what to do with his life and ended up being with Markle. Harry survives on trust funds and has proven hypocritical and ignorant in recent legal attacks and books and interviews. He was not bright enough to do anything other than be another spare. Look at Zara, and Eugenie and Bea. That's all he needed to do. Quietly enjoy his privilege rather than remind everyone that he does nothing to earn it and criticize those who highlight his disastrous marriage. Harry had the best education that money could buy, yet never bothered to study. He knew he didn't have to because he was a prince. Hence just the D in geography, and you can forget the art, as well known that his tutors did all his coursework for him. Thought it would reflect badly on them if he failed. So no academic qualifications to speak of. It's really sad to see the demise of a man who fell for the phony individual who shunned not just her family, but drove a wedge between him and his family. There's no way he will be allowed into the bosom of his family and his country. Meghan used his fragile state of mind to enhance her stature instead of helping him to heal. Time will tell what happens in regards to whether their relationship will still be going 5 years from now, but I believe his father's arms will always be open to him. Everyone goes through different seasons in their life. Unavoidable. Will the country forgive him? Time for the country to concern itself with its own issues. The country has enough problems of its own. One insider described, "I can't think of any description of Harry other than totally useless. Brought up in the royal family bubble, being paid a decent amount of money to be on the roundabout of keeping the royal family popular, which is basically what it is. Anybody can open up a new community center, etc., but it keeps the royal family in the public eye." Unfortunately, Harry started to believe that they were all clapping at him, and he could use this for his own benefit. Add Meghan into this mix, and it just got worse. Look where they are now. This house of cards is sure to collapse soon. Let's be honest. History, sociology, and even just plain biology have created in people an aversion to weakness. No one respects weak people, and we tend to avoid them just because on some level we fear their weakness will infect us. In other cases, we just do not want to hear constant complaining. That is what Harry represents now. Weakness and complaining. Can we have an example of one thing Travalyst has done that has made a difference to a country, village, or a single person? It is big corporate words with directors paid extortionate salaries for what? The board does not have one scientist or engineer, just people who talk. How can you be on the board of an ecotourism company while you frequently travel on private planes and constantly step into fuel-guzzling SUVs? He encouraged the travel industry to do better, while airlines totally got his message, and to save fuel. They put extra seats on planes, making us travel like sardines, while some get to travel first class or privately. Who preach this stuff? Nothing he says has any substance, and why is it he's now a travel guru and environmentalist? He has absolutely no credentials. Not to mention his constant stream of him moaning, whinging, and whining about nonsense, though he liked having a smaller bedroom than his brother. With his behavior, he will never be taken seriously all across the world. Better off without him as a company. Hollywood won't side with Harry and Meghan. They want the Prince and Princess of Wales to attend premieres in London. I could see this coming. I'm not sure what they are going to do. My understanding is they have an enormous mortgage on the house they live in. I'm not sure what they have to offer other than more gossip about the royal family. One insider stated, "The eyes of the world are finally opening. How will the Sussex squad spin this?" Probably the same tired excuse they use for everything. The royal family caused this, and the Prince and Princess of Wales did. Harry and Meghan are incapable of introspection. Sad, really. Always looking for external villains, never looking in the mirror. Never look. Unfortunately, everybody eventually reaches the point where they are sick to the back teeth of never-ending whittling and whinging. The public, on both sides of the Atlantic, reached that point ages ago, and all the fools who couldn't wait to sign him and her indoors up to multi-million-pound deals are now finally catching up with the rest of us. The sad but true fact is that neither of them has an iota of talent or charisma between them. Now that the novelty of hearing them spouting their truths about his family and throwing almost every member under the bus has well and truly worn off, they simply have nothing left to sell. Their celebrity pals have melted away like snow in July, leaving them isolated and with every avenue of prospective revenue either closing or already closed. After their disgraceful treatment of everybody they ever come into contact with, I can't honestly say that I've got much sympathy. Wish the media would actually stop harping on about Harry doing this, Meghan doing that, Harry has been dropped, Meghan has been dropped, Harry this, Harry that, Meghan this, Meghan that. 6 whole years it's been nonstop. Maybe it's time for medias to actually start running articles about important issues the UK is facing, not informing us of every single Harry and Meghan do. I feel that anything that is linked to Harry and Meghan Markle is bound to fail at some time in the future. Harry has proved what he is, someone who has been cocooned most of his life, with no life experiences at all, with the exception of his stint in the army. Yet here he stands, giving his inexperienced opinions to people who have already endured quite a bit in life. Those people could teach Harry and Meghan what life is all about. Besides, she will divorce him now that he's of no use to her. She has his 2 kids, so she knows she always has a way into the royal family through them. And when she thought selling all the stories and secrets Harry has told her over the years, she can get new ones when the kids are old enough to fill her in on new information. It's a hard, cruel fact of life that if you haven't made it in business by the time you're 30, chances are you never will. Harry was happy enough to coast along as a member of the royal family. They carried him and covered for him. The army could and should have been a great career for him. Harry must always have known that when William started a family, it would mean the end of Harry's importance as the spare. Why didn't he start developing his own career long before that? Was it because he was so lazy and stupid he thought he could live off his family's reputation forever? Quite right to disregard Harry, who would bring negative publicity. From the experts they have put on the board, I wonder what he could contribute anyway. Is this yet another overstaffed org where Find Collected will go more to the board than to the work itself? Where's the manifesto of proposed benefits? What do you think about Travalyst's disregard for Harry? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this newsletter. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.